What's up, everybody? It's MC Lyfe,
Jonnyo,
and today we have special guest
Jeff.
Jeff,
the respiratory therapist.
the respiratory therapist. What is a respiratory therapist? First off, just what is it?
To break it down, if you're not breathing in the hospital, they call us,
Yeah,
and we have to do everything we do to help them breathe again.
is it the guys with the things where you go clear and they shock them? Is that those guys?
No, we are a part of that, but
Okay.
it's more of we get breathing treatments to help open up those lungs. At my job, we're actually fortunate to actually put the tube down someone's throat.
Like a trach?
Trach is after. So
Okay.
the tube is going down the mouth, and we connect it to a ventilator.
Okay. I have a little brother who's cerebral palsy, and he's got a trach in his throat.
Yeah.
And then when he was younger, he had the tube right here on the side, so we'd have to do the suction, and we'd have to clear his throat and get all the phlegm and stuff. Is that something that?
Yes, we do. I do that every time I'm at work.
Oh man, that is the most. Sometimes
Yeah.
it looks like it hurts,
Yes.
but you got to do it, right? It's how you help them breathe.
Yeah,
It's a job.
It is better to come out to leave it in.
Yeah.
If it leaves in, so it's a good thing you guys are trained and on how to clear out someone's. We call it secretions.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fancy
don't know.
word.
Yeah, I don't know.
So say mucus or whatever phlegm.
Yeah.
But it's better to take it out to leave it in. It's gonna pretty much obstruct the airway.
Yeah, and they seem
can't
a lot
breathe.
happier. Yeah. Because my little brother, he's he can't eat, he can't walk, he can't talk. He's they say he's bedridden. So he has 24-hour nurses and stuff. So we had to take CPR classes. We had to take certain classes because my mom was like, "Hey, you never know if something happens." So we would have to take those classes, and that was one of the things I didn't like the most was the clearing the throat because it looked like it hurt him.
Yeah, it's the best way I could describe it is just taking their breath away.
Yes.
I don't like doing it, but I have to do it.
Yeah.
But doing it from so many different patients I have, you'd be surprised what comes out the lungs.
What do you mean? Like just phlegm, blood, clots,
it's stuff that's questionable.
like they put it down there themselves?
No, it'd be like a mix of different colors, and it just has a smell, a very potent smell. Sometimes it's just sometimes it's a black color.
That's not good at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's old. That describes old bleeding, but the amount of what color the secretions may be can indicate what is actually happening in the lungs.
Okay.
So yellow infection, green sticky, related almost to Pseudomonas.
And what's Pseudomonas?
Pseudomonas is the nastiest thing you could ever smell.
It's got smell wise,
Yes. So you can walk down the hallway and I can smell it.
Ooh.
And it is just.
Is it worse than like throw up? I guess you could say.
It's worse than sewage.
Oh wow, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, but
I'm getting dizzy.
yeah, but as a RT, we just our job.
Everybody's got a job. Somebody's got to do
It
it.
don't matter what they throw at us. I respect every respiratory therapist or anyone that's in healthcare, but especially the RTs, they don't get enough recognition or credit on the things we do.
You guys.
Yeah.
So you said they call you guys when somebody stops breathing, right?
Yes.
So, and that could just be anywhere. Are you mainly at a hospital? Are you at a facility? Are you with the medics?
We're pretty much in a different variety of places, but hospitals. I work at a hospital. It's more like we have other aspects like sleep study. RT could just watch someone sleep and during their assessment, could figure out if they have sleep apnea.
That's a big thing right now, huh? Sleep apnea.
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
I don't have those.
My brother has
symptoms.
it. Yeah, my brother has a mask or something he has to wear.
Yeah, so that's a CPAP machine. So that's just bringing positive pressure and it's opening the lungs.
Okay.
It's just so his tongue don't roll back and he can't breathe.
Yeah. No, they get choked on their tongue and then it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jonathan was talking about. Well, first off, how long have you been doing respiratory therapy for?
So I worked with John at Walmart. I think I left at 20. Ooh, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's been a while because you were going to school at the time doing it.
Oh, so 2017. So going on 7 years.
So
it's been that long?
You went from Walmart just to go in, or were you training on doing schooling while you're at Walmart?
No, I was already done with school. But I was still waiting for a job.
You were job searching because I know you were getting offered a lot of jobs out of state, and then I know you were getting some.
I want to stay here.
You want to stay here, and the pay was going to be better because Walmart wasn't paying nothing.
Yeah, I mean they probably still aren't.
Well, it was a Walmart fulfillment center. We worked in Chino.
Oh, okay. So it was a warehouse.
Yeah, but what's crazy is because you know how he looks. You know, he would go he would go to work with like shorts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when people would like, what career you do? Respiratory therapist, and they were like, what?
I know.
How?
They're like, well, how?
Yeah.
You don't look like that.
I don't look like that.
And he's
what
like,
is a respiratory therapist supposed to look like though? Like, oh, that's a respiratory. I never
he's
see somebody walking
with
down
some
the
scrubs.
street.
He needs to come in with some scrubs and package.
Oh, really? Okay, so like you were at Walmart as a respiratory therapist?
Yeah, I was already passed everything, got my education, but it was more of like I have to go and support my family.
Yeah.
Until I wait for that job opportunity.
How long did it take till you finally got that job opportunity?
It wasn't even that long. Maybe 6 months.
6 months.
Damn, that's long for me. Yeah. You got a lot of patience, bro.
It was hard back then. It's easier now.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Now it's easier because I feel like they probably need more of them now.
Yeah,
right?
we're always any hospital they're short.
Yeah.
Every
hospital.
Okay, and then the question I have is if it's since you're saying they're short, is it because of COVID, or is it just that they don't have enough people that are applying for the position, or they don't have any openings, or?
So COVID did play an aspect in it. A lot of people retired.
Okay.
COVID was just that overwhelming where people were already at the end of their career, and it was like, you know what? Let the young people take it, and it's not enough people. Yeah. So yeah, COVID, hospitals not paying enough. People think I get paid, a lot like nurses. They get paid good money, but it's still not a lot for what they have to go through.
They go on strike a lot, right?
That Kaiser.
They don't play around. Kaiser's on strike. Yeah.
They do not play around.
Do respiratory therapists always go on strike as well? Do they join that group and they're like, hey, we're with you guys, or we want more money too? Because like you said, you're not getting enough credit for what you're doing as far as pay or as credit. Like, so what do you feel? Do you usually join those?
So the nurses, they have a very strong union. Respiratory, we don't.
Oh, okay. So because they can just they're replaceable like that, right?
Yeah. I wish we were more unified in increasing our pay, because sometimes I don't have a lunch because it's just that busy. Being on my feet for 12 hours and then have the worst possible shift and knowing I have to come back the next day is terrifying.
What do you mean by the worst possible shift? Because what do you have to deal with as far, like, what do you see? Like a bad day for me at work is I have to work, like, actually do some work. You feel me? Like, I have to actually pick up some papers when I just want to sit there.
Mop a floor.
Yeah, I have to, like, oh, you here? You got to go to work? I'm like, oh, I thought I was just going to stand and get paid, bro. My bad. That's a bad day for me, you feel me? Now, a bad day for somebody like Jonathan is, like, I don't know. What's a bad day for you, like?
Getting the job done, I'm sitting down for 4 hours, and then I'm falling asleep. I'm coming. I'm driving a whole hour to get home. I'm driving from Glendale to drive home. So if I'm doing floor care and I'm just waxing some floors, and then most of the time when you're doing floors, there's a waiting game. Yeah. So when you're laying down coat, you gotta wait an hour. So it's like, and by the time it's a bad day for me. So then I'm falling asleep on the way home. Like, I gotta call you.
So what's a bad day in the career of a respiratory therapist, I guess you could say?
So a bad day.
What is one of your bad days, if you don't mind talking about it?
One of my bad days? Oh, okay. Yeah. So one, I had a very bad shift. It was like, we call it, full moon shift.
What's that?
It wasn't a full moon, though, but when the full moon's outside, I get very paranoid.
Oh, werewolves start coming. Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah,
so you guys, anyone in healthcare, they're like, oh, full moon. They freak out,
Carol used to say that. She'd be like, oh, people. Yeah. She'd be like, it's going to be problems tonight. Because my friend, she's a nurse, and she works in one of the hospitals, and she would be like, dude, every time the full moon, I was like, what is it about that? Like, she's like, you'll see. And then she'd tell me This is a bad day. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, you know, like a bad day for me, usually, you know, we get assignments. I have like maybe average 17 patients.
Okay.
And just, you know, walking around, giving breathing treatments, and I'm doing my visual assessment. How does someone look? Some people, we call it a guppy breathing. It's like a fish out of water.
Okay.
You know, like just trying to breathe. You know, when a fish jumps out, their lips, the way they're breathing, just, you know,
like they're trying to breathe but they can't.
Yeah. So imagine that on a person.
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine 5 of those people.
Yeah, because I would see it with my little brother. I'd be like, I was like, I think we need to clear his throat. Yeah. So I kind of understand.
Yeah. So imagine 5 people.
Yeah.
You know, so 5 people on my shift was trying to die. They didn't die on my shift. I made sure of it, but it was a long day, and you know, and I get students too, because you know, the school I went to. I'm gonna shout them out, American Career College.
Heck yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, because some people you hear bad stuff about, like the ITT Tech.
Yeah, but you know, you still get your degree.
There you go.
But the students there heard about me, and every student that goes to my school, request me.
Why is that? Wait, what do you mean?
I bring a positive aspect. I'm the type of guy that always smiles.
Okay.
Always laughing. That's very welcoming to the students, to the nurses, to the family, to the patients.
Because is it a very dark career?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I walk around the hospital and see a lot of depressed faces.
Oh.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, you're like, hey, have a good day, bro.
Yeah. I the reason why I love coming to work, no matter how hard the day, like I know it's going to be, is knowing when I walk into that patient's room or the family sees me and they're like, "Oh, Jeff, you're our RT today?"
Heck yeah!
I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a great day." They're like, "Okay." That's what I get the kicks on.
Yeah, you bring energy in.
Yeah, and that's how I balance out the stress and you know, just you know, people dying because I can't afford to take that out on my next patient. So if I have a patient die, I have to like you know, kind of recollect myself like just a minute. You know, and go to the next patient, and not let them know that I just seen the worst thing I could possibly see today.
Yeah. And do you build bonds with these patients, like, because they essentially become not just a patient to you? They're like, oh, you get to know them. Some of them are bedridden and don't talk, and then some of them have a lot to say. Correct?
Yeah. And
you build these relationships and these bonds with them, and like you said, if somebody passes away, God bless their soul, it's how hard is that for you to make that literally you have to within a minute, you know, so somebody's gonna come take them away, and you've just spent X amount of time with them, whether it be short or long. Does it take a real toll on your mental health?
It does. I think maybe in the next year or so, I might need a therapist. Because it's kind of hard to talk. Even my coworker, it's kind of hard to talk to them about it. Because we're all just like trying to like brush it aside, you know.
Because you're at work.
Yeah. But I go home, I'm like, or even a drive home, I'm thinking about, why did this happen today? You know, and it gets very depressing on my mental health. You know. I've been in a better place now. COVID into like, I want to say last year, I was feeling like depressed. You know, just constantly.
And this was because of your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, and amongst other things, I'm sure. But with COVID, how bad did it get? Because Johnny told me, he's like, dude, when he was telling me about COVID, and if you don't mind talking about a few things about that. Going into COVID, were you expecting it already to be bad, or were you like, it's going to be a little bad, but it's not as bad as I thought? Or was it exact opposite?
Let's say this: every hospital in America, I don't know about any other country, but it just like kind of put a light on it. We are not prepared. We are not prepared for a pandemic. Wearing the same mask. Wearing the same gown because we ran out. Yeah. So
gloves, all that stuff. Yeah.
I seen that, but I would never. You know, you reuse the same gloves. That's nasty.
Yeah.
But it was like eye-opening for, you know, living in America, United States, and you think we're good. You think we were prepared.
You guys weren't.
Nah.
Yeah, nobody was, man.
Well, no, yeah, nobody was.
It was scared driving. Like, I started doing Uber and Lyft around that time, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I just kiss my son every day. Like, fuck, I hope today is not... Like, you know, I keep a positive attitude. And for somebody like yourself, how did you deal with that? Like, what are things that you did? Like, because I smoke a little here and there. I don't really drink too much. Some people down a bottle. Some people don't. Some people go to the gym. Some people exercise. Some people paint. Some people, I don't know what. So what was it that you did to cope with all these things that you had to leave? Because it's hard to leave work at work when you're going home and you're seeing these things, and it's mass amounts of numbers, and you're new to this. So this is your first, like, I guess, career, and there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
And not just you weren't prepared, but these are people that have been doing this for years that are saying we're not prepared.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that? What were some of the coping mechanisms that you did to help with that, to keep you on a more positive mindset?
I think number one was food. Me and my wife, we were like eating everything. Yeah. So number one was food, and I was just, you know, playing video games, playing with my son. So that was some of the things I did to escape. COVID was like, it was very eye-opening, depressing. So that's one of the things I did escape from. There is one story I could never forget. Was about this guy. He came into our hospital. He couldn't breathe. This is, you know, during COVID. We had to give him 100% oxygen.
Was he older gentleman, younger gentleman?
He was older.
Okay.
Married to his wife. He was telling me for like, I want to say 40 years.
Wow.
And then, you know, he was starting to get a little better, and then his wife came into the same hospital. Same problem. She got COVID. You know, so he got COVID, she got COVID, and same thing. Had to put 100% oxygen on her, and then he actually was able to get discharged. And then he was calling. I don't know how he got a hold of our department, but he made sure he got a hold of us, and he was like asking. I actually picked up the phone, and he was like, "Hey, you know, I'm just calling about my wife. You know, how's she doing?" And he doesn't know. I couldn't tell him because that's not my job to tell someone, but she died that day too, and it's very hard to forget it because he loved his wife.
Yeah, 40 years plus. Yeah,
and that's what COVID did, was break up families. You know, took people away too soon.
Yes,
and I would never forget that.
Damn.
Yeah,
that sucks, man. And when the gentleman found out, like, were you there at the hospital? Were you able to, like?
I wasn't there because he did come. I was not there. I can only imagine because I had people just break down. You know, death is like something people don't think about, and it's something I see every day. But I'm also, it also makes me cherish life, your family, because, you know,
your wife, your son, everybody, yeah.
So very touching. I'm sorry.
No. But see that it's okay, and I'm sorry if we had to bring that up, and that's why I appreciate you sharing these stories with us, because people don't understand that you're not just a respiratory therapist. You're actually somebody's friend. You build these bonds with them. Yeah. And it's hard sometimes for you to be still there, able to help the next person and still be able to want to build that bond with the next person, because at the same day, like you said, you're not going to take it out on the next patient because this happened. Yeah. And my hat's off to you, because that is a job that probably personally I would never want to do. And my little brother, his nurses, I've built bonds with them because I noticed certain nurses do take that extra mile, extra care. And like, when we had the nurses come to our house, because we had nurses come to our house, they would like encourage me and my brothers and be like, hey, you know, you got to get big and strong. You got to stay in school and get smart, because one day, if your mother's not here, you have to take care of your brother.
Yeah.
You after this, you after that. So all me and my brother, even my cousins, even his wife, would learn how to do his medicine. We would have to remind each other, like, hey, did you make sure he took the medicine? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, he's crying. Let's go tell my tia. Let's go tell my mom. And it gets you prepared because you never know. Like you said, death, it could come at any moment.
Yep.
It could come, and when it hits, it tends to hit, in my family at least, when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the time that we have, we try to just cherish it, and we appreciate it, you know? And then even having my little brother not being able to do certain things, it makes me cherish certain things. Like sometimes I don't want to get up and work. I'm like, bro, I bet you my little brother would love to get up right now and go to work.
Yep.
I bet you he would love to know what it feels like to even have 1/10 of the things that I can do. So it makes you appreciate it, and then it makes you appreciate your wife, because you said, like, this guy was married to his wife for 40 years, and I'm sure he misses her, and all these things that go into that, and it tears it apart. And then once COVID was done, did you keep seeing like less and less and less, and you're okay, it's done, or did you feel like people just said it was done, and it was just, you were dealing with death every day? You're still dealing with death every single day, so it's never done for you.
No. So a lot of people don't know this. You know, COVID had a big effect on people's lungs. The people that got COVID, you know, especially the elderly, had to have a lot of scar tissue on their lungs. And that caused a lot of implications for them. Is that
the rip in the lung, like a tear, kind of?
It's kind of like, you know, I don't even know how to put it, but we have little air sacs.
Okay.
I don't know the number. RTs might get mad at me for not knowing the number, but let's say thousands and thousands of little air sacs in the lungs, and they have to stay inflated. So what COVID did was damage those.
Ooh.
And that caused someone to have a hard time breathing, get checked back in the hospital of COVID symptoms. COVID has damaged a lot of people.
Is there a flu anymore, or do they just call it COVID now? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, when
they
you
were
go
mixing
there,
it.
they were mixing it.
They were mixing the flu with the COVID.
Yeah.
It was just, the numbers was going up on TV. I don't know if you guys remember. We couldn't tell if those numbers were real. It was like, it was a flu or, you know, pneumonia or COVID. You know,
I stopped hearing about the flu for a whole year. I was like, what happened to the flu? Like, it's COVID now.
Yeah, it's COVID. You got that COVID now.
Flu is not a word no more.
It's like COVID doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
It's the weirdest thing.
It came and it went. And I told people it's going to come and go, but the long-term effects that it's going to have on a lot of people, that's never going to go away.
Yeah.
That's never going to go away. So when COVID was finally, quote-unquote, over, it was never over for you, because you still have to deal with death, and it might not be because of COVID or whatever, but that's just that's your career.
Yeah.
That's what you have to deal with every single day.
Yeah.
When COVID was finally over, like I said, did you see the numbers decline, like, drastically?
It was kind of weird. It's just, out of nowhere, it just started dropping.
And it went up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it just dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I know the amount of, like, hospitals ran out of, like, beds, you know, emergency rooms ran out of, like, supplies, beds, and everything. No one could get in there.
They make you stand outside. I remember when you have to go to the hospital, I was like, why is everybody underneath tents? And then when I had to finally go, they're like, oh, stay underneath that tent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it got bad. Because over here in Riverside, remember they were using the old abandoned Sears over here.
Oh,
they didn't have enough beds, like you're saying, and then the hospital. So they were staying over there. They had security, 24/7. So it was really, really bad. They didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Even for janitorial, they didn't have no, like, gloves, all the materials that you needed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
everything's
crazy.
being used. So.
Did you get hazard pay? Because I know a lot of people did get hazard pay, and a lot of people didn't. A lot of people say, oh man, I wish COVID happened again. I slap the crap out of whoever says that. Because the money is not worth it in my sense. No. Because now look at how broke everybody is.
Yeah.
They were used to spending a certain way.
Yeah.
They don't have that money, and now they can't pay their bills. All these things started happening. They lost their apartments, their cars, because they were getting these mass amounts of money and not knowing what to do with it. Everybody's running wild.
Even you throwing that, when people were on unemployment during COVID, when you got that extra amount, people, instead of saving and knowing that COVID was going to go away, they're over here, like Lyfe saying, going, splurge. Oh, let me buy this Gucci purse. Let me buy this car. Knowing that, hey, we're going to get back to normal. You're going to have to need the money. Oh, I don't have to pay rent for 4 or 5 months. No, you do need to pay rent because what's going to happen is when they kick you out and the new person comes in, they have the money. But a lot of people weren't expecting that. They weren't being smart with their money.
No, if the government gives you guys free money, don't spend it like buying a car.
Well, don't spend it, but
hold on a little bit.
But the government's even though when they say it's free, it's not really free.
There's always inflation. Look at inflation.
Well,
now. See, I feel like there's always a little something behind.
Well, and then like how Jeff's saying that they deserve more money. Like the amount of money he makes, and even if they were trying to pay him as much as he deserves, California's so expensive right now.
Yeah,
it's hard to find anywhere to live. Everyone's leaving out of state.
Buy a tiny home.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Go to Home Depot, go get a tiny home for $600 at Home Depot. Go get a little tiny home. That's all. That's all you need. But it's just expensive, man. Yeah. It's just crazy.
So the amount of money that you were getting, do you feel like it was worth it, or do you feel like you still should have got more? Because now you're still dealing with it, and then they took the hazard pay away, correct?
Yeah, the hazard pay doesn't exist anymore, but we were getting it. Okay. There's a lot of travel jobs. The travel RTs or nurses, they were making that money.
Like $10K, $20K a month or something, right?
Yeah, I was contemplating going to New York when the COVID first started. But I was completely terrified. I was like, I seen pictures, But
seen the bodies? Like all the
little bodies they're bringing out,
just lined up in the street. It was
crazy. It was bad over there.
Storages and shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
It wasn't worth it for me.
You're like, I'll stay here.
They were getting like $100 an hour.
Dang.
Yeah, overtime was like $130 an hour. So it wasn't worth. My life was not worth that money.
I don't know amount of money is worth any type of COVID. I know we got a couple more minutes up here. Would you ever suggest this job to anybody? Would you? Because you seem very happy, but you also, like you said, you've had your good and your bad days. Would you suggest this job to anybody?
So I love what I do. If you don't love it, I don't. Just don't do it. But it's the joy I bring to my patients, even like every staff member. I say hello to hello, good morning to every staff member, every patient. And it's very rewarding for me, knowing that, hey, Jeff's here. Hey, it's going to be a great day. Even the nurse is like, oh, Jeff, you're my RT. I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh, yes. I'm like, all right. But it is very taxing on the soul, the mind, body, and soul. Do your research. It's not for everyone. I can't recommend, I could recommend it, but,
But it's a job that you would not recommend.
Yeah.
You got to have a really strong mind and a strong heart.
Yeah, you got to be the right type of person.
Yeah.
I tell my students all the time, I'm like, you came into school, got your education for this job, and they see what I'm doing, and then they kind of make up their mind. Yeah. They're like, okay, that's what we're doing.
I'm leaving.
But I would recommend it, but not recommend it for someone that's not willing to see and do the things.
It's really person based, really. Huh?
Yes, it's customer service. So
you gotta be happy at what you do.
I love it.
Yeah. That's good, man.
That's true.
Then do you document any of this on Instagram or TikTok, or do you just kind of just leave it out? This is
so like HIPAA, I can't talk about.
You can't do all that. You can't do all that. Yeah.
There is healthcare workers out on TikTok, and they don't videotape people. So that's how they get away with it.
Okay.
If I could do like a day in my life at my hospital, I would, just so you guys could see like,
what's going on.
God, like what is this guy looking at? So I wish I can.
What's the GoPro right here?
Oh yeah, the GoPro under there. Make a little hole underneath the scrub.
Yeah.
Hey, just an idea.
Yeah, people are very interested.
No. I mean,
well, this is the reason why we brought you on here. This is what I'm saying. Like, I told Lyfe that we needed you on here. People want to know like exactly what you do. So now that you explaining everything, when people watch this episode, they can be like, okay, cool. Do I want to go into that career? Well, this is what he dealt with, and then the questions that we're asking you and stuff, people are gonna want to know that.
That one story, right? Just that one story alone, and I'm sure you have millions of stories like that.
Millions. Yep.
Like, man, if you were to do like a TikTok every Friday of like, not give names, but just be like, because I know you can't get in trouble, but I like the story, and I know you have a lot more to say, so we're definitely gonna have to get you back on here in a couple months. Or
I got a lot of stories, a lot of stories that has really kind of messed my mind up. But it's life.
Yeah, heck yeah. And then death is a beautiful part of life, and that's one thing that I always tell people. It's like the reason why my name is Lyfe is because I've gone through a lot, seen a lot, and we're barely getting started. I'm barely 33. I just consider myself young still. So
and you enjoy your life.
Yeah, I enjoy my life for sure.
There we go.
Yes. But where can they find you at on social media? Maybe some people want to pick your brain, and maybe they want to hear some more stories.
I don't know. People hit me up. Right. I am part of Urban Monkeys.
There it is. Yep. So if you want to get a hold of homie, make sure you holler at Jonnyo and point you in the right direction. Yeah. And once again, my name is MC Lyfe.
Jonnyo.
And tonight we had special guest
Jeff, the respiratory therapist.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, we're almost at 40K subscribers. We're at 39,000. Hit that like and comment and subscribe button. And if you want to hear more of stories with Jeff, maybe we could do another story in a couple months.
Part 2.
You guys have a good night. My name is MC Lyfe. Once again,
Jonnyo.
And we have
Jeff.
You guys have a really good night. Peace. Shout outs to Cali Function Records, Urban Monkeys, God Vape, all the homies out there, Fire Cream, Riverside Authentic. Peace.